take up the process, you get protected by the Supreme Lord Himself. So the whole purpose Srila Prabhupada talks about the process itself and how one can become purified, even if they commit mistakes, even if they did a little bit, how much positive it gives in the long run. So the whole idea is we have to, because we know we have to do it so sincerely. That's the whole point Srila Prabhupada wants, under the direction of the spiritual master. And then he says at the end, thus in all conditions one will be akuta bhaya, free from fear. We are fearful because we have material desires. So if you truly serve the whole process properly, you don't have material desire, then you'll be fine. Text 20.
So Prabhu,
Yeah.
what's in the translation, even once surrendered completely?
Yes.
What does that mean? Surrendered completely unto His ministry.
Even once means, even if you do it one time, that's it. You are free from anything else in your life. Yeah. Not that you will surrender many times. You once surrender, right?
Once, at least once, heartfully surrender.
Yeah.
Depend on Him.
Huh?
Okay.
Even once. It's if in the point it says, if you surrender means that's it. No question of going back and then.
Actually, we don't surrender.
Yeah.
Superficially, we might say surrender.
Real surrender.
Yeah. So
Because surrender, there are many interpretations
of surrender?
surrenders. In this case, what is
Sincerely.
actually?
thoroughly, sincerely, with
6
your
stages.
full heart. Or you can say what
6
Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives us 6 stages of surrender.
Oh, okay.
That means depending, Krishna as
Yeah.
protector, maintainer,
Favorable,
favorable, unfavorable, all those things. Yeah. So, the point is, it's interesting that, you brought it up also, but even once, his point is, and which you said, that in general we don't surrender actually.
He's always called back something.
Yeah.
So,
The reality is we don't surrender. We just think I'll do only that much, that extra effort, 80-20, that principle, yeah.
Chaitanya Charan Prabhu is saying 6 steps of surrender, right? So 2 things are in our hands, first 2. So that we will do, Anukulya Sankalpa,
Do's and
Pratikulya
don'ts.
Savajam. So he is saying when the person invests in stock, every moment he is checking, it's going up or down. So similarly, you constantly check that,
Yeah.
It's like checking the stock market. Other things are the state of mind, like the Lord will protect. So these are the things in the beginning is in our hand.
If you do those 2 things properly, the other things naturally
Yeah,
manifest.
manifest.
Yeah.
I found that helpful actually, because in our stage, how to surrender. So Prabhu is saying,
Doing strictly
constantly
do's and
watch, like stock market we are watching,
don'ts.
going up and down. So we constantly watch our action, whether it is favorable to Krishna consciousness or unfavorable, don't do.
Full surrender, if you think about it, it's like finally Draupadi gave up thinking of anything except Krishna. You do whatever you want. That stage is not easy for all of us, It is easy if you actually
Follow properly.
Chant.
Right.
Sing properly.
Rupa Goswami says the first symptom of surrender is chanting.
Chanting
Anyone who's new.
attentively.
So then it is there. If you chant sincerely with your heart, you realize everything. Yeah. So even once you do that, that's it. You go back to God.
So when there are difficulties, when we depend on Krishna, pray for Krishna's help, is that in the right direction for surrender?
If you have difficulty,
So when we try to when we heartfully depend on Krishna,
yeah,
is that kind of surrender, or it's even not?
that is in distress, no?
Yeah.
But is it really or just?
Yeah, that is.
Better.
It's still better. of
Better than
course. Yeah.
going to somebody else.
Wasn't
Yeah.
Gajendra also in distress? when he
Yes.
surrendered?
Yes.
I have seen non-devotees also doing that.
That
At that
Once-
time they
Once the problem is fixed, they will move
they
on.
move on.
Move on.
Yeah. But theirs is more like prayaschitta.
Fruity.
yeah.
They want some relief, I remember many years ago, one young man came to the temple and he's like, "Oh, my life is ruined, I'm going to commit suicide," like that. And so I sat down and talked to him, encouraged him. I said, "Just pray to the Lord, I'm not getting jobs." And he said, "Don't worry, all this will be okay." He said, "For 2 years, no job," so anyway, we talked, and then, he went and prayed and he left, and then he got the job, and he never came back. So, he didn't really surrender, and he didn't understand that for such people, they don't see the Lord as Supreme Lord, and they are having a relationship. All they see is, Prabhupada says, they are the order supplier. They want to enjoy the material life, and they think God should allow them to enjoy material life. So that is why it's very difficult for people to see it from the other point of view, that we are supposed to serve instead of enjoying. So very
Krishna is another demigod.
demigod.
I heard that Anya Vilashita Sunya, that verse, Paribhasha Sutra of Nectar of Devotion. So the word Abhilashita is used because to add or add such situations where you pray in complete distress, like the example given of Draupadi. So that is also pure devotional service. So, or Gajendra.
Being dependent on the Lord.
Being depending on the Lord. It's a
it is part of surrender.
Yeah, it's a part of surrender. To add those kind of situations, the word Abhilashita was used. Otherwise, Abhilasha itself is, the desire.
Text 20.
अत्र चोदाहरन्ति मम इतिहासं पुरातनम् दूतानां विष्णुयमयोः संवादस्तं निबोध मे.
In this regard, learned scholars and saintly persons describe a very old historical incident involving a discussion between the order carriers of Lord Vishnu and those of Yamaraja. Please hear of this from me. This is the story of Ajami. Show how bhakti can protect, even for one who doesn't even think of Krishna at that time. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, the Puranas or whole histories are sometimes neglected by unintelligent men who consider their descriptions mythological. Actually, the descriptions of the Puranas or the whole histories of the universe are factual, although not chronological. The Puranas record the chief incidents that have occurred over many millions of years, not only on this planet, but also on other planets within the universe. Therefore, all learned and realized Vedic scholars speak with references to the incidences in the Puranas. Srila Rupa Goswami accepts the Puranas to be as important as the Vedas themselves. Now, of course, Prabhupada quotes that verse from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Shruti Smriti Purana Pancharadi Vidhi Vinaya Kantiki Hare Bhakti Upataya Iva Kalpate. That's a good verse to know. Yeah. Text 21.
कन्याकुब्जे द्विजश्चेत् दासीपतिरजामिरः नाम्ना नष्टसदाचारो दास्याः संसर्गदूषितः.
In the city known as Kanyakubja, there was a Brahmana named Ajamila who married a prostitute maid servant and lost all his Brahminical qualities because of the association of the low-class woman. Where is Kanpur? Kannauj town? UP. In the purport, Prabhupada says the fault of illicit connection with women is that it makes one lose all Brahminical qualities. Means when you illicit sex makes you unclean in the mind. Brahminical person is supposed to be focused, strong in mind. So when they indulge in such activity, Brahminical qualities goes away. So everyone should be very careful because you don't want to lose the Brahminical qualities. So here you can see this poor soul made a mistake and fell into great difficulty. At the end of the last paragraph, in the middle of the last paragraph, Parikshit Maharaj's original question was how to be freed from falling down into hell or into the hands of Yamadutas. In reply, Shukadeva Goswami is citing this old historical example to convince Parikshit Maharaj of the potency of Bhakti Yoga, which begins simply with the chanting of the Lord's name. Text 22.
Bandhyakshaihi kaitavaschu chauryaye garhitam vritti astitaha vibrat kutumbam ashuche yatayam ashadehinaha.
Translation: This fallen Brahmana, Ajamila, gave trouble to others by arresting them, by cheating them in gambling, or by directly plundering them. This was the way he earned his livelihood and maintained his wife and children. I've heard that he also killed people. No? Purport: This verse indicates how degraded one becomes simply by indulging in illicit sex with a prostitute. Then at the end of that paragraph, Prabhupada says, if illicit sex is allowed to increase in a society, however, the entire society will be condemned, for it will be full of rogues, thieves, cheaters, and so forth. Which is what's happening. Huh? Our leaders are in this category. They don't care about this. Text 23.
Evam nivashatastasya lalayanasya tatsutan kalo atyagan mahan rajan astasityayushas samaha.
Like a king, while he thus spent his time in abominable sinful activities to maintain his family of many sons, 88 years of his life passed by. 88. So don't forget that figure. Text 24.
Tasya prava yasaha putra dashatesham tuyo bhavanaha balo narayano namna pitroscha dayito brisham.
That old man Najamila had 10 sons, of whom the youngest was a baby named Narayana. Since Narayana was the youngest of all the sons, he was naturally very dear to both his father and his mother. So he had his son at 88 years old. And he has 10 sons. This is so... Papa doesn't like all these things. In the purport, Prabhupada says, 50 years old. So Prabhupada says, in the Vedic culture, one should leave home as soon as he has reached 50 years of age. One should not live at home and go on producing children. Sex life is allowed for 25 years, between the ages of 25 and 45, or at the most 50. After that, one should give up the habit of sex life, leave home, take vanapras, take sannyas. I have met devotees who have children when they were in their 50s, 55, 56, like that. And now they are in their 60s and
They're babies.
and not only that, they are some of them want to have the point of divorce.
After 50?
Yeah.
And they get married again.
Devotees.
And they get married again.
No, not yet. They are all going through so much difficulty. So I was like, I had a talk with one of them only a few months back. So they are understanding now all those things, and they are now like getting serious about their spiritual life. But the storm hasn't hit them yet, because the battle in the court, the what do you call it? Child custody of the child, huh? Yeah.
Custody.
Yeah. So all this hasn't taken place, and the child is only like 6 or 7 years old. So they are like And I was thinking, so much importance Prabhupada gives in taking vanaprastha or sannyas. His point is don't get entangled and suffer like that. Yeah.
Child will have a tough time.
The father now is in his 60s, and then the child is like 6 or 7 or 8 years old. Yeah.
Prabhu saying it's only 1 year left.
1 year left for who?
He's going to be 50.
Oh, he's going to be 50. I thought he was going to be 40 only.
Look like.
Because he's controlling his burps. Thanks 25.
I didn't know that it decreases the age.
Sabadda hridayastasmin Arbhake kalabhashini Nirikshamanas Mude jarato brisham.
Because of the child's broken language and awkward movements, old Ajamila was very much attached to him. He always took care of the child and enjoyed the child's activities. So here, let's see, in the previous verse he says that the child's name is Narayana. So here in this purport, Srila Prabhupada at the end writes, it is customary in Hindu society for parents to give their children names like Krishna Das, Govinda Das, Narayana Das and Vrindavana Das. Thus they chant the names Krishna, Govinda, Narayana and Vrindavana and get the chants to be purified. But not every parents are doing like that. Now they're giving all weird names, Pinky, Rinky, right? I've heard all those names, Slinky,
She has a nice name.
Stinky. Oh yeah, Nicky. But she has a better name, Ashmi. Krishna says.
Pet name is okay, right?
No,
Pet name.
Pet name will be
That is the name you will think.
called is mostly
No good. Oh, they're like calling your wife Goo Goo Gaga. Right? We are so much in love with each other. They speak like babies, just like broken language. Adults, when they are very much in love, they will speak in broken language to each other.
They want to get
So-
upset with the other language. And they get upset with the other language.
Then they become low class language. So it goes to show how attached you can be. So you can see the similar things happening nowadays. Maybe not with the parents, the grandparents. So the parents don't want to raise the child. They leave it with the grandparents, and the grandparents think it's their duty. They forgot that their duty is to be chanting the holy name or doing seva at the temple. So that culture has been lost, but we have to revive that in the movement. We have to ask people to start becoming more renounced. Text 26.
Gunjana prabhiban kadan Balakam snehayantritah Bhojayan payayan mudo Navedagatamantakam.
When Ajamila chewed food and ate it, he called the child to chew and eat. And when he drank, he called the child to drink also. Always engaged in taking care of the child and calling his name Narayana, Ajamila could not understand that his own time was now exhausted and that death was upon him. In the purport, Prabhupada says, like calling the name Narayana, Narayana like that is like unknowingly, not intentionally calling Krishna, but just even mentioning it's Agyata Sukriti. Although calling for his name, he was unknowingly chanting the name of Narayana, and the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is so transcendently powerful that his chanting was being counted and recorded. Wow, so just imagine this. So don't stop chanting. Namabhas. Yeah. Because he's not doing it offensively, he's just doing unknowingly like that. Agyata Sukriti. Now Agyata Sukriti takes many lifetimes to come to the Shraddha, level of Shraddha. And then from Shraddha you can take the opportunity to practice bhakti. So
in this case, actually, previously he was a bona fide
he
Brahmana.
was brought up by
Practicing
Vaishnava.
properly.
Yeah.
He just fell down.
Yeah, he just fell down. Yeah.
So many lifetimes, you mean the human life or like different?
Generally, we are talking about human life.
But why, Prabhu? Why does it take so many human lives? Because
That's how it is.
Because of the desires.
That's how Rupa Goswami mentions. Yeah.
Because of the desires the living entity has.
Yeah, it takes many to get purified to the stage where you can stop your material hankering. The faith in Krishna develops after many lifetimes. That's how it is. That's how we are. And but it is always there. It's stuck little, and then at a certain point it can stop the impact of material energy on the living entity. So that's why it takes many lifetimes. Yeah. And then you get the opportunity. Then he creates the opportunity for you to meet devotees and so on, where you develop your faith. So then you hear some sadhu speaking, then you say, yeah, that makes sense, and you go and research, and then read, and then you may come again and hear. But it's still up to you to take the process. So the opportunity is given, and then if you misuse that opportunity, then you go back again in cycles. And next human birth, again the opportunity. Like that. So that is why we should always do service and chant the holy name. Text 27, yeah.
Sa evam vartamanagno mrityukala upastite matim chakara tanaye bale narayana hvaye.
When the time of death arrived for the foolish Ajamila, he began thinking exclusively of his son Narayana. You wanted to say something?
So, but the credit of Agyata Sukriti, do they diminish? Like devotional service credits don't diminish. So, okay.
But if you do offenses and all, then it's hampered.
Just hold back.
Yeah. It is devotional service, but it's unknowingly done. Yeah. Okay, what happened? Anta Narayana Smriti. Okay, so in the third paragraph, Prabhupada says, in this regard, Sridhar Swami expressed his verdict as follows: Etaccha tad upalalanadi Sri Narayana namucharana mahatmyena tad bhakti eva buddhiti siddhantopayokitvenapi drastavyam. According to the Bhakti Siddhanta, it is to be analyzed that because Ajamila constantly chanted his son's name, Narayana, he was elevated to the platform of Bhakti, although he did not know it. And similarly, Srila Veera Raghava Acharya. So Prabhupada is giving some proofs that this is not something that's made up. Gives this opinion: Evam vartamanaha sa dvija mritukale upastite satyagno narayana ke putra eva matim chakara matim ashaktam akarot iti arthaha. Although at the time of death he was chanting the name of his son, he nevertheless concentrated his mind upon the holy name of Narayana. Srila Vijayadwaja Tirtha gives a similar opinion. Okay. Directly or indirectly, Ajamila factually remembered Narayana at the time of death. Ante Narayana Smriti. So he wasn't thinking of Narayana, but he was chanting and he was concentrating on that name at the time of death. So that is as good as concentrating on the Lord. Yeah. But he wasn't thinking of the Lord. Huh?
Name and the Lord.
Yeah, non-different. Text 28, 29.
Sapashahastam string drishtva Purushan atidarunan Vakratundan urdhvaromna Atmanam netumagata Dure krida शक्तम्
दूरे कृताशक्तम्
पुत्रं नारायणः वयम्
पुत्रं नारायणाय
प्लवितेन स्वरेणोच्चये
प्लवितेन स्वरेणोच्चये
आजुहावाकुलेन्द्रियः
Ajamila then saw 3 awkward persons with deformed bodily features, fierce, twisted faces, and hair standing erect on their bodies. With robes in their hands, they had come to take him away to the abode of Yamaraja. When he saw them, he was extremely bewildered, and because of attachment to his child, who was playing a short distance away, Ajamila began to call him loudly by his name. Thus, with tears in his eyes, he somehow or other chanted the holy name of Narayana. Just before you are about to die, you will see these things. It is said that before even the Yamadutas come, their dogs will come first.
Yes.
They have dogs. So the dogs will come around the house or wait outside the house. Black dog with steel teeth and all like that.
Actually, in the hospital, there is a department called terminal illness department.
Yeah.
They report a lot of stories like this.
Right.
So people usually enter deathbed, they see
Yeah.
all this.
Oh yeah. I have in Taiwan a Chinese god sister whose father was dying in the hospital. So she wanted her father to take up the chanting. So she kept telling her father, chant Hare Krishna. But he's dying, cancer and all, he was dying. And then so then she kept telling him, please chant, but he doesn't, he was just... So then she kept praying, then she started praying to Narsinghadev, so please help him, he's a fool. So much he started praying. Then on one night he woke up screaming, and so they were all there. So they said, what happened? So I'm seeing all this black dog, and then these guys, with ropes. So she realized Yamadutas are coming, because they lead a simple life. So she's so worried and scared, and she's like, so she really started praying to Narsinghadev in Mayapur, So then, so the night she was there with the father, and he was crying, and then he wouldn't chant, right? So then that night she felt that the father will die because Yamadutas all are coming already. So she cried and chanted and prayed to Narsingha. Then in the middle of the night the father got up and then started to say, he came. He said, what happened? Oh, he came, that lion person came, He had a dream. So then she was shocked, and she said, what did he say? He said, chant. So he said, I don't know how to chant. So then she told him how to chant. So he chanted for a while, then he slept peacefully, she said. And then the next morning he left his body. So the power is so powerful, I'm telling you. Don't take for granted. So chant nicely, and these true stories, we hear. And her prayers didn't go unanswered, no?
Devotees prayers.
Yeah. Even though we are all struggling, still the Lord reciprocated. Protection, posana, which is what we are trying to read here. The Lord comes to protect.
Even in Ajamila case also, somehow or the other, it's fortune for him to have this situation, right?
Fortune
Means like
it's
some
all
arrangement of
you can say fortune. Yeah, you can say it's good. Like Prabhupada said, it's Agyata Sukriti. So he chanted sufficiently that he was also at the point of being a bhakta.
What I'm saying is, his chance of naming his son Narayana and creating a situation for himself is a great...
But Prabhupada already explained those culture.
Okay.
You cannot say it's like, let's say in US some Western person started naming their children like that, then you can say, right?
It's a culture.
Yeah. Is it fortunate? In those days everybody's name were Krishna's name or like that.
Almost all.
So you can say everyone is fortunate.
But somehow he was intensely attached to that son whose name was Narayana, right?
Prabhupada also explains why he's attached to that child, right?
Yeah.
All his children are named with Krishna's name. But that baby is the newborn baby, and babies look cute,
Sound.
big head and small hands and they crawl, big eyes. Everyone gets
Like
attracted.
Funny sound.
Funny
Funny
sound, cute sounds. Once you grow older, you don't like to hear those sounds, but at that time you will say, "Oh, so nice." And they have that. They attract you with making those noise, and the features attract you to want to take care of them. So yeah. From one point of view, you can say he was fortunate. He named his son, but realistically, was he fortunate? Yeah, you can say. Of course, he was fortunate. Very fortunate.
Most fortunate. That's why he's in Purana.
Yeah, most fortunate. Yeah.
Bhagavatam.
Fortunate Prabhu, he led a sinful life.
Huh?
Why fortunate?
No, but
Huh?
before that he was
He
a
led a
proper
sinful life.
Yeah,
Most of
but
the
he
time.
was a good devotee actually. Then he fell down,
Then
and
he
then
fell down.
so those good things were there. So in that sense, in his unfortunate situation, because he was practicing some good things, it's Agyata Sukriti again, lifting him back to the position of bhakti, which is what the acharyas say. Therefore, even though he never meant to chant the holy name, he just wanted to call his son, so he focused on the name.
So that's
But-
the main point.
Yeah.
That he focused on the name, and as Prabhu said, name and Lord are non-different.
Non-different, yeah.
Okay.
So that is the main thing we have to understand. But we cannot therefore say that we at the end of our life then we will chant also. It doesn't. It's not. He's been chanting for so long. That is the point.
And then the main point is, just by chanting unknowingly, he got so much
So
benefits.
much
What if he chanted with proper
knowingly. Yeah. Then he will be even more. Krishna will test us. Text 30.
निशम्याम्रियमाणस्य
निशम्याम्रियमाणस्य
मुकटो हरिकीर्तनम्
मुकटो हरिकीर्तनम्
भर्तुर्नाम महाराज
भर्तृनाम महाराज
पार्षदः सहसापतन्
My dear king, the order carriers of Vishnu, the Vishnu Dutas, immediately arrived when they heard the holy name of their master from the mouth of the dying Ajamila, who had certainly chanted without offense because he had chanted in complete anxiety. The Prabhupada says, right, you have to chant like a child crying for the mother. And here also without offense. He wasn't committing offense knowingly, so whatever he did it like that. So again, Prabhupada quotes Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, who remarks that the order carriers of Lord Vishnu came because Ajamila had chanted the holy name of Narayana. Now, this is an important point. They did not consider why he was chanting. While chanting the name of Narayana, Ajamila was actually thinking of his son. But simply because they heard Ajamila chanting the Lord's name, the order carriers of Lord Vishnu, the Vishnu Dutas, immediately came for Ajamila's protection, Posanam, Lord's protection. So, another point, Hari Kirtana is actually meant to glorify the holy name, form, pastimes and qualities of the Lord. Ajamila, however, did not glorify the form, qualities or paraphernalia of the Lord. He simply chanted the holy name. Nevertheless, that chanting was sufficient to cleanse him of all sinful activities. See, you cannot just say it's just fortune like that. It's just the Lord actually was pleased with him. Huh?
Yeah, potency of the holy name.
Yeah. The holy name was pleased with him. Put it that way. As soon as the Vishnu Dutas heard their master's name being chanted, they immediately came. Which means he was sufficiently cleansed that when he chanted, he was chanting purely at that time. Just at that time.
Complete anxiety.
Why are you smiling?
It's like initially we have pure chanting.
Yeah.
And then it goes down.
All of us are like that now.
It's not actually pure chanting. Like Krishna
Yeah,
used the
chanting.
taste in the beginning as a demonstration. Demo.
You can say in the beginning there's some taste, but it's not ruchi. But there's taste.
There are no
Just to keep
offenses.
us-
Yeah. In the beginning you're trying your best. Then because you become slack or you become familiar, familiarity breeds contempt. So you become offensive, and therefore the name doesn't give you the blessing.
All devotees look like Mahabharata.
Yeah.
In the beginning.
Well, you're supposed to see everyone as
Das,
Mahabharata.
Then after that Das.
So anyway, continuing, in this regard, Srila Vijaya Dvaja Tirtha remarks, Anena putra sneham antarena prachina drishta balat udbhutaya bhaktya bhagavan nama sankirtanam kirtamiti nyayate. Ajamila chanted the name of Narayana because of his excessive attachment to his son. Nevertheless, because of his past good fortune in having rendered devotional service to Narayana, he apparently chanted the holy name in full devotional service and without offences.
So he was doing devotional service.
He was doing, I told you, he was doing the devotional service. He just fell down from that. He was worshipping Vishnu and all. So that plus his chanting rose him to the platform. So in a sense you can say the Lord was actually always waiting for him. Right? Nothing happens by chance. Text 31.
Vikarshato antahridaya
Vikarshato antahridaya
Dasipatim ajamilam Yama preshyan Vishnuduta Varayamasurojasa.
The order carriers of Yamaraja were snatching the soul from the core of the heart of Ajamila, the husband of the prostitute, but with resounding voices, the messengers of Lord Vishnu, the Vishnu Dutas, forbade them to do so. Which means he hasn't died yet. They were just pulling him. Okay, about to get him out. So, and also the other point is the soul is in the heart. So they are pulling from the heart, the snatch. So this is another proof that the soul is in the heart. Okay. Text 32.
Uchur nisheditastamste
Ucho nishidite stamste
Vaivasvata purasharaha
Vaivasvata purasharaha
Keyuyam pratisiddharo
Keyuyam pratisiddharo
Dharmarajasya shasanam
Dharmarajasya shasanam. When the order carriers of Yamaraja, the son of the sun god, were thus forbidden, they replied, "Who are you, sirs, that have the audacity to challenge the jurisdiction of Yamaraja?" So they were surprised because they are just doing their job. Right? Sometimes you see the people outside, they come and carry trash, those trucks, and then you go there and say, "No, don't do it." They say, "Who are you?" Right? We are supposed to clean this. Are you the city man? Like that. Text 33.
Kasyava kuta ayataha Asmadasya nishedhata Kim deva upadevaya Yuyam kim siddha sattamaha.
Dear sirs, whose servants are you? Where have you come from? And why are you forbidding us to touch the body of Ajamila? Are you demigods from the heavenly planets? Are you sub-demigods? Are you the best of devotees? So here you are asking, right? Those demigods, sub-demigods. So you can say sub-demigods. Upadevatas. Okay. So here they seem to know demigods, sub-demigods and devotees.
Since they have never seen
They may not have, well they know they are Yamaraj is a devotee. So they know that much. Pure devotee. So Siddha Sattamaha means the best of the perfect or the best of the pure being devotees. So in the second paragraph, Prabhupada writes, since the Yamadutas are servants of Yamaraja, who is also one of the Siddha Sattamas, they knew that a Siddha Sattama is above the demigods and sub-demigods, and indeed above all the living entities within this material world. The Yamadutas therefore inquired why the Vishnu Dutas were present, where a sinful man was going to die. It should also be noted that Ajamila was not yet dead. From the Yamadutas were trying to snatch the soul from his heart. They could not take the soul, however, and therefore Ajamila was not yet dead. This will be revealed in later verses. Text 34 to 36.
What is the significance of this?
Huh?
What is the significance of it, that he has not yet died?
Yeah. Those people may think, because he's saying all,
He sees them.
Yeah, I want to understand, like, what is the significance of his being in the body? Is there
There will be given
significance?
chance again. He is not done yet.
Okay.
After that he will go to Haridwar and
So
continue
you
his devotion.
realize
Okay.
that take up seriously your
This is another misconception. Just because he chanted, he went to Vaikuntha. That's not true.
No, he didn't go anywhere. He chanted the names purely, but remember, you cannot go back to Godhead until
Purified.
100%, until you develop your
Love,
No.
real love, and also you understand your
position is
constitutional position. So he hasn't gone through all that yet. So I think that's one thing. Why he remains in the body?
So that he can continue. Second chance.
We see the book that's printed second chance, according to Prabhu, he's given a second chance. I don't know whether that's the case. The case is he's not pulled out yet. He's not been killed yet. He hasn't died yet. That's it. And that he can, yes.
His lifetime is still there.
Yeah, he has, and he's given the opportunity to
see the discussion.
the discussion and at the same time get purified in that discussion completely. So then he'll just finish off whatever he needs to do in Haridwar, where he goes later.
What I get is because he got the association of the Vishnu Dutas at
Yes.
the time. And
That's
was
how
able,
he gets. Yeah.
was able to
Yeah.
recover and do the right things later.
Yeah.
Vishnu Dutas came because he chanted.
Yes. Well, the Lord is there. The holy name has given him the opportunity. Holy name is very merciful. So even though he didn't think of Narayana, he chanted, but he has blessed him. So he's giving him an opportunity to do all that is wrong. So then, since you all are talking like that, so then I'm thinking, so from external point of view, he did many sinful things. He robbed people and plundered people. So wouldn't the king and all of them come to take care of that?
Yeah,
Right?
because he has done all, he's chanted the name, everything is eradicated.
Okay. Yes.
Because
In adjust
Manish
according.
is
Yeah.
all the same.
Yeah,
It's
but
not
some
dedicated yet. He has to go and do tapasya in Haridwar.
Right.
no, but he has raised to the platform where he doesn't need to suffer.
He's withheld.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Testing.
Testing. Yeah.
सर्वे पद्मपलाशाक्षाः
सर्वे पद्मपलाशाक्षाः
पीतकौशेयवाससः
पीतकौशेयवाससः
कीर्तनः कुण्डलिनो
कुण्डलिनो
किरीटिनः कुण्डलिनो
किरीटिनः
लसत्पुष्करमालिनः
लसत्पुष्करमालिनः
सर्वे च नूत्नवयसः
सर्वे च नूत्नवयसः
सर्वे चारु चतुर्भुजाः
सर्वे चारु चतुर्भुजाः
धनुर्निशङ्गासि गदा
धनुर्निशङ्गासि गदा
शङ्खचक्राम्बुजश्रियः
शङ्खचक्राम्बुजश्रियः
दिशो वितिमिरौ लोकाः कुर्वन्तस्वेन तेजसा किमर्थं धर्मपालस्य किङ्करानो निषेधता
The order carries of Yamaraja said, your eyes are just like the petals of lotus flowers, dressed in yellow silken garments, decorated garlands of lotuses, and wearing very attractive helmets on your heads and earrings on your ears. You all appear fresh and youthful. Your 4 long arms are decorated with bows and quivers of arrows, with swords, clubs, conch shells, discs, and lotus flowers. The effulgence has dissipated the darkness of this place with extraordinary illumination. Now, sirs, why are you obstructing us? In the purport, Prabhupada says, towards the end of the first paragraph, they did not know that although he was sinful throughout his entire life, he was purified by constantly chanting the holy name of Narayana. In other words, unless one is a Vaishnava, one cannot understand the activities of a Vaishnava. And then in the next paragraph, Prabhupada says the Vishnu Dutas look just like Narayana because they have attained the liberation of Sarupya, just like the Lord. Oh, the picture. Okay. This is very dramatic picture.
Very nice.
Maybe it's just like that. Yeah.
So why is it that Yamadutas they have not seen Vishnu Dutas?
Yeah, they have not seen Vishnu Dutas.
Maybe this one of them not sure.
Yeah, okay. This group of Yamadutas.
There are so many.
There are millions.
Forms, maybe.
Yeah, no, there are millions of Yamadutas.
So much of servants, army of servants.
Yeah.
So many people have to come to drag one soul.
No, I think later on you'll find out. Yamaraj actually instructs his servants not to disturb devotees and about all these things. But here you will see that they seem to have not known about this personality.
Or maybe Lord gives.
Later on they will say you guys look like Narayana also, something like that.
They have chakra also in there.
They can also wield it.
Chakra, how can they get chakra?
Except that
Srivatsa
Mark
head.
and Kaustubha Jewel.
No, Srivatsa.
And
Yeah.
Kaustubha Jewel also, I think.
No,
No,
that is
Kaustubha.
the main
only Lord and
differential.
Anyway, text 37.
Shri Shuka Uvacha Ityukte Yamadutaiste Vasudevoktakarinaha Tan Pratyuchuhu Prahasedam Megane Hradaya Gira.
Sukadeva Goswami continued, being thus addressed by the messengers of Yamaraja, the servants of Vasudeva smiled and spoke the following words in voices as deep as the sound of rumbling crowds. It was very deep. Text 38.
Shri Vishnuduta Uchuhu Yuyam Vai Dharmarajasya Yadi Nirdeshakarinah Ruta Dharmasya Nastatvam Yacha Dharmasya Lakshanam.
The blessed messengers of Lord Vishnu, the Vishnu Duta, said, if you are actually servants of Yamaraja, you must explain to us the meaning of religious principles and the symptoms of irreligion. So that's why they smile, because they are coming from Vaikuntha, they know everything. And then they are saying, these guys don't even know who we are. So they want to test them now. Do you really know what the religious principles are? Because they said this man is sinful, we have to take. But they already know he is no more sinful. So that was the contention here. So in the last paragraph, Prabhupada says, the question posed by the Vishnu Dutas was very suitable. One who represents someone else must fully know that person's mission. Yeah. The devotees in the Krishna consciousness movement must therefore be fully aware of the mission of Krishna and Lord Chaitanya. Otherwise they will be considered foolish. All devotees, especially preachers, must know the philosophy of Krishna consciousness so as not to be embarrassed and insulted when they preach. Okay? So
Prabhupada immediately brings. Prabhupada immediately brings.
Very compassionate.
yeah, it is
He
compassion.
doesn't want devotees to be impressed.
Yeah. Text 39.
Katam Svidhriyate Dandaha Kim Vasya Stanam Ipsitam Dandyaha Kim Karina Sarve Aho Svitkati Chindranam.
What is the process of punishing others? Who are the actual candidates for punishment? Are all karmis engaged in fruitive activities punishable, or only some of them? So they are really pushing it. They want to know, You don't just anyhow impose punishment, stuff like that. So they want to make sure that the Yamadutas really know what they are doing. Text 14.
All these movies happening in front of Ajamil.
Yeah. He's like stunned. So he's allowed to see this. He's a special devotee. That's why he's shown all these things.
Yamaduta Uchuhu Veda Pranihito Dharmo Yadharmastad Viparyayaha Vedo Narayana Saksha Swayambhur iti Shushruma.
The Yamadutas replied, that which is prescribed in the Vedas constitutes dharma, the religious principles, and the opposite of that is irreligion. The Vedas are directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayana and are self-born. This we have heard from Yamaraj. So they have been trained. Alright, just like all of us, we read Prabhupada's book, we become trained. Alright. Text in the paragraph after Janma Karma Chame Devam, the paragraph after, Prabhupada writes, Dharma is not actually manufactured by Narayana. This is important. As stated in the Vedas, Asya Mahato Bhutasya Nishvashitam Etadyadrik Vedaha Iti. The injunctions of Dharma emanate from the breathing of Narayana, the Supreme Living Entity. Narayana exists eternally and breathes eternally, and therefore Dharma, the injunctions of Narayana, also exist eternally. So it's not something different. It is always there. It is Krishna himself. It is Narayana. In their personalities. Yeah. If you go to the spiritual world where Mahavishnu is in the Karana ocean, when you approach there, all these Vedas are there serving him personally. Yeah.
Yeah, you would hear also this.
Yeah, in the actual that is what kind of loka is that? That is one aspect of it. Yeah, okay. He also, the Vedas are all situated there serving him. Yeah. Text 41.
Yena swadhamne amibhava
Yena swadhamne amibhava
Rajasattva tamomayaha
Rajasattva tamomayaha
Gunanama kriya rupaye Vibhavyanti yathatatam
The supreme cause of all causes, Narayana, is situated in his own abode in the spiritual world, but nevertheless he controls the entire cosmic manifestation according to the three modes of material nature: Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna and Tamo Guna. In this way, all living entities are awarded different qualities, different names such as Brahmana, Kshatriya and Vaishya, different duties according to the Varnashram institution, and different forms. Thus, Narayana is the cause of the entire cosmic manifestation. So they are also establishing that Narayana is supreme. They agree with that principle. Text 42.
Suryo agnikam marudevaha Soma sandhyayani dishaha Kam kusvayam dharma iti Kete daihasyasya sakshinaha
The sun, fire, sky, air, demigods, moon, evening, day, night, directions, water, land, and Supersoul himself all witness the activities of the living entity. So if you want to know who are the personalities, this we say it, now you know where the proof is.
Shakshi.
Okay, so all these are the proof, witness. So you cannot say, even if you say no, the Supersoul is in you. So therefore we cannot cheat. Text 43.
Etair adharmo vignataha
Etaradharmo vijnataha
Stanam dandasya yujyate
Stanam dandasya yujyate
Sarve karmanurodhena Dandam arhanti karinaha
The candidates for punishment are those who are confirmed by these many witnesses to have deviated from their prescribed regulative duties. Everyone engaged in fruitive activities is suitable to be subjected to punishment according to his sinful acts. Text 44.
Sambhavanti hi bhadrani Viparitani chanagaha Karinam guna sangosti Dehavana hya karma krita
O inhabitants of Vaikuntha. So now they are saying, So they know. You are sinless, but those within this material world are all karmis, whether acting piously or impiously. Both kinds of action are possible for them because they are contaminated by the three modes of nature and must act accordingly. One who has accepted a material body cannot be inactive, and sinful action is inevitable for one acting under the modes of material nature. Therefore, all the living entities within this material world are punishable. No, they are punishable. Therefore, based on the fact that they are under the modes, only devotees are not. So Prabhupada says, a human is supposed to act according to the direction of the Vedas. Unfortunately, men manufacture their own ways of acting without reference to the Vedas. This is a natural tendency. Proof, how you know there's God? We don't believe. We want to do what we want. Based on senses.
Show me. Show me God.
Show me God. Text 45.
येन यावन् यथा धर्मो धर्मो वेह समीहितः स एव तत्फलं भुङ्क्ते तथा तावदमुत्र वै.
In proportion to the extent of one's religious or irreligious actions in this life, one must enjoy or suffer the corresponding reactions of his karma in the next. So they either go to upper planet or lower planet or hellish planet and then come back to earthly planet. Like that. Text 46.
यतेह देव प्रवरास् त्रैविद्याम् उपलभ्यते भूतेषु गुणवैचित्र्यात् तथान्यत्रानुमीयते.
O best of the demigods, we can see three different varieties of life which are due to the contamination of the three modes of nature. The living entities are thus known as peaceful, restless and foolish, as happy, unhappy or in between, or as religious, irreligious and semi-religious. We can deduce that in the next life these three kinds of material nature will similarly act. So based on their observation, people are always doing all these three activities. So they are saying this is how they are. Right? Mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. So they all keep going in this cycle only. It's not going to change. That's what they are saying.
They are so elevated, Prabhu.
Huh?
They are so elevated.
Yeah, they are very elevated in some, because they are doing service on, they are trying to establish dharma. So they are elevated in this way. But otherwise they are very frightening to look at. Text 47.
Vartamano anyayo kalo guna vijñāpako yatha evam janmanyayo yeta dharma nidarshanam.
Just as springtime in the present indicates the nature of springtimes in the past and future, so this life of happiness, distress or a mixture of both gives evidence concerning the religious and irreligious activities of one's past and future life. So you can see for yourself in the mirror or your actions, you know what you must have done to get the body. How you're behaving is from previous life. So like that you can see. Text 48.
Manashaiva pure devaha purvarupam vipashyati anumimamsate apurvam manasa bhagavanajaha.
The omnipotent Yamaraja is as good as Lord Brahma, for while situated in his own abode or in everyone's heart like the Paramatma, he mentally observes the past activities of a living entity and thus understands how the living entity will act in the future lives. So he has direct connection with the Paramatma. So he knows exactly what we have done. So he cannot run away. Prabhupada writes, one should not consider Yamaraja an ordinary living being. He is as good as Lord Brahma. He is actually empowered by the Lord to do this service. He has a complete cooperation of the Supreme Lord, who is situated in everyone's heart, and therefore by the grace of the Super Soul he can see the past, present and future of a living being from within. You can't cheat him. The word anu mi mam sate means that he can decide in consultation with the Super Soul. That means he is always with the Super Soul talking what to do, give him more punishment. Anu means following. The